Hi guys, and welcome to my review of Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. Now, obviously, this is quite an old game now, really. Unfortunately, I do have a PlayStation 5. Not unfortunately, but you know what I mean. This was actually a Xbox timed exclusive. So it was on Xbox and PC for quite a while before it came out on PlayStation. Obviously, I would have loved to have had been able to play this when it first came out, but obviously didn't have that chance. I was a bit reluctant to buy it because it had been out for so long, and obviously it wasn't a big title or anything. I played Vermintide when it came out first. That didn't have crossplay, and even though I bought it new, could barely get a game in it because there was no one playing it. So I was obviously a bit hesitant to buy this. Obviously, this has got bots you can play with who can probably help you get through like the easy missions or the normal missions, possibly. But yeah, if you want to play the more difficult missions, you definitely can't get through it without normal players. And to be honest, even though it's quite old, there's still quite a few people playing this game. Yeah, so it's a PvE game. Basically, you have a team of four. You just have various objectives as you're walking through these maps. Obviously, you got normal enemies, you got elites, and then you got the bosses every so often and things. Obviously, the higher difficulties, the more bosses you get. But like I said, you got recent updates, so it's been it keeps getting updated. I've come to like my end of playing this game now because I'm moving on to other games. But I have put about 71 hours into it. I've made various classes. I've had the veteran. I played as the Ogrin and the Arbiter, which is one of the DLC characters. A little bit too overpowered, I think, that one. And what's the other one called? You can also be a Psyker, which is the only one I haven't played. Now, I chose Veteran as my first character, and honestly, it's the worst one to play as. It's just very frail. It seems to I seem to die all the time as that character, but every other character I do a lot better in. But that might be just how I'm not very particularly good at the game per se. But I have been doing the more difficult missions recently. Overall, it is just a really solid game. Like I said, I completed the story quite quickly. The story is pretty good, but it's rather short. It's more about the replayability with various combinations of characters and difficulties and things. There's several different currencies in the game. Obviously, some are quite difficult to pick up. You have to look for them in the actual game missions and stuff. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And it's not like I said, it's PvE, so it's not really competitive. At the end of the game, it doesn't tell you, oh, you've killed so many bad guys, you've done a certain amount of damage, and there's a minus to that, I guess. I guess it might discourage more competitive players, I suppose. But at the end of the day, it's just a lot of fun. No stress, no aggro, that kind of thing. You can very, very occasionally. Like I said, I've played so many missions in this. I think I've got one person who's got a bit ratty over the chat because someone wasn't doing what they wanted them to do. But apart from that, everyone's really helpful, and it's not just a friendly environment. Really, really, it's nice to have a game like that. to play. I'm a big Warhammer 40,000 fan, so obviously that was so that obviously helps when you go in to play this type of game, and especially replayability. The cosmetics are good in this game. Obviously, there's a lot behind paywalls, but to be honest, I don't necessarily think you need to pay for them, because you still get quite a few free ones, and there's some pretty damn decent ones for free, especially if you put in a lot of time into the game. And there's no pay to win or anything in this game. It's just purely cosmetics, skins and things like that. When it comes to some of the more difficult missions, I do find them a little bit lackluster. I don't know if that's changed in the recent patches or not, recent updates, but yeah, big part of making them more difficult seems to have just made it impossible to see what you're actually doing. So it's like pitch black and only your torches can light things up, which made the game annoying rather than more difficult. I mean, I guess it was difficult, but it's just really annoying not being able to see what you're doing. This one isn't that. I guess this is what they've changed. You can see a bit better, but I mean, honestly, some of the missions I was playing was in the more difficult settings were just pitch black. And I think, honestly, that's pretty much my only gripes. There has been a few being kicked out because of connection problems, but only recently I've had that. Nothing too serious. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said, Warhammer 40,000 fan. It's just a really solid game. The combat is fun. The guns are fun. There are the very occasional gun that I find a bit lackluster and a bit disappointing. The flamer have recently come into the game. I'm a little bit disappointed with that. I used it once, I think, and then I swapped over to a different weapon. And I think the thing is with this game, there is a lot more they could possibly do to this game. So updates and stuff. Or obviously, I'm sure they're working on a Darktide 2, which I probably will get at some point if it is released on PlayStation 5. And yeah, like I said, cosmetics are a little bit pay money for, but you can earn them as well. Then there's a good variety of weapons to choose from. That I've had fun using all the different ones. And like I said, but there is a little bit of a variation in the classes. So the Ogren I'm using right now, he's a bit slower, but he has bigger guns and he can take a bit more damage. That kind of thing. Oh, the Zealot. That's the other class I was trying to think of earlier. The Zealot was also good. The new DLC one that you have, a Cyber Mastiff that follows you around, I think is the best one to play. Simply because you've got you can choose any firearm, which I mean, you can kind of see that might be a bit of a downside, because what's the point in playing the veteran when you can play the Zealot, who's also can use the same kind of weapons, but just has better up close and personal kind of attributes. But yeah, that's just me. And again, I'm gonna cut this short really, because I don't really know what else to say about the game. Graphically, it's solid. The mission types are quite varied, but they're all pretty similar at the end of the day. Go here, do this, kill all the enemies, and then move on to the next objective kind of thing. But that's just how the game works, I suppose, how most of these types of games work. I'm more than happy to get back into this game, to be honest. If I didn't have any other games to play, there's a couple of things that you do have to remember. Is that you kind of, even though it's good to kind of explore and find all these hidden money type things, like you have to collect certain things to be able to upgrade and stuff like that, and they're kind of a bit rarer and you've got to look around to get them. And quite honestly, the majority of players don't seem to be all that interested in collecting those. They seem to be, right, let's get on to the next mission as quickly as possible, let's get through this as quickly as possible. That could be a bit annoying, because if you're left on your own, the game does punish you. There are these things, the dogs and like the shotgun users. There's a dog that basically jumps on you and just keeps mauling you. There's nothing you can do about it until someone rescues you. Now, if you've gone off on your own to find some loot, and this thing jumps on you, and your allies don't bother to come back, then you're just dead. And then there's a guy that does basically the same thing. He's got like a shotgun thing that nets you, and you're just there until you get killed, basically. Which is very annoying. I don't think I know that's trying to make people stay with the group. Look, this is how you play the game. You've got to stick together. But that is annoying, and I don't particularly like that. And that is why the Arbitus class, a DLC class, new class, is so powerful. Basically, you've got your own AI companion, who basically, if you get attacked by a dog, even if there isn't anybody help you, this dog will attack the thing that's attacking you, so you can get up. That kind of thing. So that's very nice. But obviously, you get, like I said, you got different guys here. Like the snipers are extremely powerful. You want to dodge their incoming fire, because they will do you a lot of damage. As you can see, in this particular game, I'm not paying particularly good attention. This was just to get footage for this recording. And there you go. That's one of the rare currencies that you got to pick up. Obviously, the harder difficulty you are, the more you can get from these missions. So obviously, it pays to play the more difficult missions, because you're getting better loot and things like that. But there is a bit of a ceiling to the. I guess it depends on if you're trying to complete the game kind of thing, which is obviously not how this game kind of works. The story is quite short, and like I've said, I've played about 70 hours, and I've pretty much got most of the characters up to, got all the characters that I'm using up to the top level, and I've grinded some better weapons, and I'm playing on the more difficult missions, and we're pretty much doing them pretty easily. So there's a kind of a ceiling, I guess. It depends on. I still find the game fun, but I don't really have like an end goal right now, because I've done most of it. But yeah, I mean, it's not a full price game anyway, so that's not really too much of a problem. So yeah, how much do I give it out of 10? I give it a solid 8. Especially if you're a Warhammer 40,000 fan, this is just a lot of fun. There isn't many good Warhammer games, especially on console. This one, Bolt Gun, and there was a couple others were decent. Obviously, Space Marine recently, they're both first one and the second one are very good. But there is a couple of other pretty decent ones, but there's literally no one playing those games. So yeah, they're not fun because there's no one playing it. But this one seems to have a decent amount of players, people still playing it. And like I said, you can play with bots on the easier missions. So yeah, it's a great little pick up and play a couple missions and then play something else or whatever. Yeah, so yeah, it's just one of those fun little games you can pick up and play at any time. You know, once you've done the main missions, you can just come back occasionally when you want a fun little game to pass some time. So yeah, if you did like the video, give it a like and subscribe, guys, because I will be bringing you more reviews in the near future. Because time at the moment is limited, I can't do whole let's plays at the moment, or playthroughs, unfortunately, because of time limitations and kids and things like that. But I can still bring you some reviews and some the odd gameplay footage of games I'm currently playing. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.